This episode of the Turf District podcast is brought to you by Alberta Association of Optometrists, proudly celebrating a century of caring for Albertans. It happens, many people don't call their optometrist first for urgent eye care when they need it. From spring cleaning mishaps to winter eye infections, if you or your family have an eye emergency, doctors of optometry are trained to diagnose, treat, and prescribe medications, no referral necessary. Alberta Health coverage is available towards your urgent eye care appointment. To find an optometrist in your area, visit optometrists.ab.ca. The Alberta Association of Optometrists represents almost 800 doctors of optometry in over 80 communities across the province. Members are highly trained, regulated health professionals who provide primary eye health and vision care to Albertans. Learn more at optometrists.ab.ca. That's optometrists.ab.ca. Enjoy the show.
Who it is. This is a brotherhood. And if we stand strong together, we can't be denied. If one of us goes down, we have another, and another, and another that's ready to fight. So let's hit this field and bang them, bang them, bang them. Somebody light me up.
It's time to huddle up. It's the Turf District Podcast. Welcome back to the Turf District, where we huddle up to talk all things Edmonton Elks and the CFL. And we are a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown, community supported. We're also a part of the Canadian Football Podcast Network. And you can find that at Canadian CFPN. No, I can't even remember. Look up Canadian Football Podcast Network. That's what you need to look at. Hi, I'm Andrew, and obviously I'm losing my mind. I'm very excited this evening because we have a great guest and a really, really fun show. Unfortunately, Mike couldn't join us this evening, but we do have representation from South Turf District, or South Christmas Fair, I should say, as we welcome in Commissioner Kayla. How are you?
Yeah, I wasn't going to do the Turf District, more like Christmas District down here. Welcome. Welcome.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, not to boast, but yeah.
Right. It's unreal. I'm so glad that you're here. Did you catch much of the games on the weekend?
Well, listen. Okay. Listen.
Uh-huh.
I take family time very seriously.
I appreciate that.
And when Mama Jedi asks to go for lunch and offers to pay for lunch, you don't say no. And I actually didn't get home until the fourth quarter of the Riders and Bombers game. So I'm going with the highlights on this one. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
I'll have to watch them tomorrow.
We'll find lots of fun things to talk about. This is all good. But we have an amazing guest, Kayla.
Do we ever?
Yes.
Exciting.
Back to the Turf District since the last time he was here was 2016, we figured out. I know, that was in the old Turf District downstairs. Yeah. And now we are welcoming back in the one and only number 31, our favorite 31 in our hearts, Calvin McCarty. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, Andrew. Thank you for having me back.
Of course. Of course.
I appreciate it, though.
You know, we love having you here, and we're glad you're back in Edmonton. I mean, I guess I'm kind of sorry that your season ended early because of where you were playing. So, I mean, the first question that just comes to mind is, how could you? I mean, I kid, of course. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, I hope that was quite the brunch, though, Commissioner K. That extended brunch that you had with your mother instead of watching the game. I kind of watched the game a little bit. Kind of hurt not playing in it myself, but you're right. Yes, we did lose, and but no, it was a good experience. Kind of, what was it? Pre-COVID. I think we had that COVID season. Without the COVID season, would I have played? Maybe. would I played in Edmonton? Most likely not. So for me to kind of be able to go out on my own terms as a football player, and kind of, like my last game the last game I played with the formerly Elkamos, go with that one. And, it was in Hamilton, and I didn't know. We lost a playoff game. I didn't know if that was going to be my last game. I kind of knew, given the kind of situation and the things that were happening around, that it was my last game with the team. But in my heart, did I really want to retire? No. And then we had the COVID year, and then kind of a year off. And just for me to be able to step outside and away from the game and to be with my family, I kind of, felt like I had to draw a line and retire back in March, so I can focus on here instead of being 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And when I retired, Coach Dickinson, Corey Mace, they reached out to me. I've never had a phone call with Coach Dickinson prior to that. He called me within 15 minutes of retiring and was like, congratulations from, an opponent. And to hear that from somebody that I respect and played against and kind of, you hate it because they beat us a lot. So, man, but yeah, it was a good phone call. And he was like, if there's ever anything, man, I just, he was kind of, I guess, kicking the tires to see if I had anything left. So I might maybe have told him I'm not 100%, but just give me a call and we'll see what's what. And unfortunately, somebody, he tore his Achilles and they called me down. And it's an opportunity for me to, not go out because of COVID or because I couldn't play here or wasn't going to play here. It was a chance for me to kind of, see it as like, kind of go out on my own terms. I know a lot of players don't have that opportunity. A lot of players, either get cut, injured, or a lot of things. And for the ones that came before me and even the kids, like when I was here coaching at Belrose, I'd have these guys, I'm working with them, training with them in small groups, and they didn't even know if they're going to have a season. So I'm telling these guys to keep working in good faith. Like, man, you don't know, just keep preparing, just keep working. And when it comes, that's where you show. So I didn't know they missed their season, and they didn't know if they're going to play this year. And for me to kind of be out there preaching that, I'm not that, and if I still had a little something in my heart still, why wouldn't I do the same? So when I had the phone call, it was pretty easy. I mean, it wasn't easy. I had to ask the family because that was my first season being away from the family too.
Yeah.
And with it being relatively close, I could drive down, could drive back and forth. It was a chance for me to do it my way. So sorry for those that, might not understand, but hey, it's I appreciate the game and the fans and to see it from that perspective and to see what it was like here and so much you couldn't say during the season. I didn't wish hate or nothing negative on any opponent or anybody like that, but for the the tradition, the guys that came before, I heard ripplings of discussions of what was happening here in Edmonton, and yeah, it sucked to hear Stones cast at the flagship franchise of the league.
Right.
And sitting down there and watching, I mean, it was tough too, but I know the Elks sent out a little tweet saying I'm used to losing on Labor Day, but I got to win my last home game in Commonwealth, so.
A little bit of redemption.
A home game.
That's funny.
But yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and I think we might have played that up a little bit of the we hope your tradition of continues on Labor Day, but then we did we kind of paid. It was kind of
a curse on themselves though.
Yeah.
After that, they didn't win it again. Well, home games.
Well, yeah, and the one they won, did they really win? Like it was, it's like against a practice roster. Come on.
Yeah, it's all right. Hey. I still, there's a lot of, good guys on the team, and I know, and I've been in that situation. It's kind of similar, back in the Tillman era.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say his name.
Yeah, I get it.
But just kind of being on the field and knowing that sometimes it's out of your control, and all you can do is go play. And, when we traded Rick and we're rotating guys, and we were this close that previous year, or, we ended up losing. And just kind of had a setback like that, just helpless feeling, and all you can do is go out there and play. But so I know what they're, the feeling that they have over there. But Edmonton is, it's not It's not a what is it? Reload. We don't reload. We
Yeah.
It's a reload franchise. You know, we don't rebuild. We reload.
Load.
So
Yeah.
I know it's things can be turned around quick, and I'm interested to see which direction they go.
Us too.
For sure.
So true. Yeah.
Commissioner Caleb.
Hold your breath. Yep. Yeah, holding our breath over here. But I think like just going to what you said, and I think for CFL fans, like real CFL fans, no matter who your team is, like at least for me, I want to see the CFL league succeed, and in order to do that, unfortunately, you don't root for the Stamps, but behind closed doors, you're like, we kind of need you to be successful so this team doesn't fold or this league doesn't fold.
100%.
And like for me too, it's my respect for players doesn't necessarily change if you rotate teams, because if I respect you as a player, but also as a person, right? So that doesn't leave it. And I think for you, Calvin, that holds true for the vast majority, I would say, for Elks fans that, you know,
thank you.
Just because we just all banter and stuff.
No, it's
but
all
at
good.
the heart
I know
of
you
it,
guys. I know that.
I mean, even scrolling through, like looking at some of these comments already, it's like there's some jabs, and then at the end of the day, it's like, you know what, Calvin is a beast, and there's just mad respect for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
of course,
absolutely.
yeah.
And even seeing it, you know, being in the league for so long, you see the perspective. Like you gain more perspective on the entire league. I still have, you know, certain teams I don't like because you play against and you go against it year after year. There's all kinds of different storylines, but it also gets mixed in. And players I play with, coaches, GMs, I tell guys this stuff, and they look at me like I'm crazy. Oh, you played against this guy? Yeah. He was on the field. I was on the other side of Young Bucks, but just to, you know, and seeing the effect that it has, you know, through the community as well. You see the full picture. You get to see the big perspective. And it is the People's League. So why not have a People's GM, Andrew Hoskins?
Yeah, well, they want a winning team, so yeah. If they, you know what, if they need a play-by-play announcer in the booth at Commonwealth, sign me up. I'm in for that. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Nice. I will do that because that's fun. But I don't want to be making decisions like that because you know. I like guys too much. I'd be like, yeah, well, I need to pay you more because I want you to be here all the time. Right. I hear that doesn't work so well sometimes in the GM position. You got to have a little bit of kind of limits, I guess. But
well, you can increase the salary cap.
There you go. I got to work on that. Yeah.
It's the two sides of the fence. You got to do this side, and then you got to represent the other side too.
Yeah, exactly. I love you, but I can only pay you this much. Is that okay? Like, can we work out something? Come on, we like each other. That's how this works. Now, I know this week there obviously with everything leading up to the Argo game, there's a bunch of conversation, of course, about the COVID protocols and what happened between McLeod Bethel Thompson and then being able to play and all those kind of things. But how did you find it as a player? Because I know the protocol started quite strict and they loosened up a little bit, not a ton, but how did you find that as a player, especially for you, because you're so used to being like connected to fans and all those kind of things? Like how did that go for you?
Right. Luckily I kind of got to miss training camp. I think that was kind of where a lot of it was tough on guys as well. But
okay.
For me, it was the testing and just, and really playing here in Commonwealth and not even being able to like high five my daughter at the end of the game was kind of weird, or see my family after the game when I went and played in BC. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But you could see them before the game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, just it was definitely a bit different, and it was like I was kind of in a different, like it was something I felt like I could just deal with because of I personally wanted to play another year, or have a chance to go out. So I really just kind of blocked it out. Minus the fans and being able to, to interact as a team. At first, we had meetings online, which kind of made it tough, but then we could kind of start meeting together, but the coaches were still online. We never really had that side of it.
Okay.
So some teams were like that. I'm not sure if Edmonton was like that, but just smaller dynamics. And when we actually started meeting in person, that's when we actually started winning more games. And you can kind of like talk stuff out a little bit more. Here online, some guys didn't really want to chime in like you would think. So for me to see coaches coach from there, go from see it coaching in person, a lot of coaches are animated and they like to show you stuff. It's tough to really, I mean, you can still show on screen, but to look at a guy and to know that they understand is different than if you're looking at a screen full of dudes,
Mm-hmm.
So on that side of it, I could see how it was a bit tougher for coaches, and it made them bring maybe a little bit more energy. Like some coaches had to find ways of like, you crack a joke, you don't get a reaction. Like, I hope you guys are laughing. That was kind of funny to me. So. But I mean, all in all, I think, yeah, and the Bethel thing, it's tough to say. I mean, like, we want the league to succeed.
Right. Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And if the rules are a bit archaic, because we came up with the rules in what? February?
Right.
We're under February protocols. Like, what are the protocols compared to February that are different now? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure things have changed since February. So, yeah, the competitor side of people would like them to be suspended. They still won the game anyways, but either way, I think it would have looked bad on the league for sending him there, but I think it would have looked worse if they didn't let him play for sending him there. So,
well,
on that side of it, it was kind of weird, but yeah, I still got to kind of see my family. So for me, it was kind of a chance to, just to play ball. So, yeah.
I guess so. I know it was weird because I saw pictures of your family all sitting wearing black and red, and I'm like, what kind of weird?
Hey,
this is some weird dimension I'm in. This is not
right?
Black
like
No
magic.
doubt.
like Calvin in those colors.
but
I get it.
And even then, I was checking in the locker room like Gio, the Dwayne down there,
Yeah.
Gio. And I've seen him many times across the way, and I was like, and now you're sitting in there and looking like, oh man, here. It was weird for me too, and it took a while.
Yeah.
And then even like when I'm watching film, because we played the Elks first 2 games, I'd be watching the film and I'd be like, why am I watching defense? I'd be like, oh yeah, we're playing against their defense. Because usually if I see the Elkamo's defense, I'm switching or
Right.
we're not watching that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Did you slip a few times and cheer for the green and gold mistakenly? Like, oh, right, wrong.
Nah, I wanted to win. It was weird. The weirdest part was because I haven't seen a lot of these guys for 2 years prior.
Right.
Even Whitey, like buddies. I got buddies on the team. Even the equipment guys, haven't seen them. So, and I had to come out as a rival and to not really want to mingle at the same time and really not be able to mingle kind of made it even more like,
Yeah.
But, yeah, I saw, yeah. Well, I ended up talking to a few guys, and they all know the situation, and it was sucked to lose that game, but it was good to get back out there.
I enjoyed it. I was there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So, and they're on a lot of butt ends of because we watch other teams' films and they coach from other teams' films a lot. So if somebody does a mistake, we'll rewatch some other people's mistakes.
Oh,
and the coach would say, hey, Calvin, I don't mean to be ragging on the old squad, but Monday's mistakes right at the top will be one of the Elks. So anyway.
Well,
so they would throw jabs at me
sometimes.
They would throw jabs at me sometimes and kind of made me feel kind of, because the coach would say something, sorry about this, Cal, but boom, like, but I'm here now, stop. You in the meeting room, like, you sure he's on our team, coach? Why you keep telling him sorry? Just run the clip. I don't care no more. Run the clip.
We all know you were a spy.
Exactly.
Come on.
So,
Yeah.
No, it's that was probably one of the
Well,
only teams I've seen the general manager sit in the meeting rooms though.
Oh,
Out
interesting.
of any team,
really?
I've never seen a GM in there like breaking down film. And Huff he goes to work,
Dang,
That's
man.
cool.
I hate the fact that I
right?
respect that.
And I mean, even talking to Dwayne talked to me early when I signed to go up there, and he said they kind of do it the way we used to do it, and they do build kind of that way. So hopefully we can do something like that.
We can tell.
Something.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
it's good to see.
Well, I mean, in saying that, we could have some openings our way, you know. Green and gold, opening up some holes, and do you think you would have any interest in
100%.
joining?
Wow, you didn't even wait till the end of the question.
Yeah,
That's good.
no doubt. I mean, ideally, I would like to get into coaching or even the scout and management side of it, and so yeah, that would definitely be something. I think given last year with the last season with the limited rosters and the protocol, it was tough. It was tough on the coaching staffs because we could take that back to the COVID question, asking how tough it was. Reduced coaching staff made it even tougher because we had some kind of in college you have graduate assistants, so there'd be a couple of assistant guys there, but with a heavy workload, and so I think it was definitely tough on coaches. But I think we definitely need to keep that tradition and the way things, just the representation of. I know they changed the name and everything, but the tradition is still the same. The expectations are the same. All that stuff doesn't change. The field's the same. Still playing for the same thing. So there's no reason to lose that. And taking the stuff off the side of the stadium.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Trying to stay positive.
You're listening, Alex.
How do those dudes really feel? Even before I signed, I think you change the name, but then you do that and you take that down. I just don't want the guys that, like myself, that even came before me to feel like they're not a part of it.
Right.
Like everything you did for no reason because we had to change the name. Like there's no reason for you to have to take all that stuff down. It's still the tradition. It's still there.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
So would you rather do coaching or would you rather do the management side, like the scouting?
I think I was just to get a better understanding or overall aspect. Either way, I'm open 50-50. It doesn't matter. But just from a perspective of me being on the field this whole time, the past few years, my whole life, maybe to see it from that angle will give me a better understanding of that, if that does happen as well. So I think I'd rather learn that first and then potentially get into coaching, just to get a better grasp on things and potentially, maybe take it up another notch one day. And I watched some of the CFL Classic games. I've seen some old Wally Buono film out there of him playing in the Grey Cup, Montreal versus Edmonton. So I know for him to kind of go over too. I know it's weird, but I think it's for the betterment of the league, like we talked about earlier. And that's part of that trust. And yeah, you compete, but at the end of the day, like we are brothers and sisters across the league, top down generations across as well. So that's just part of it. And I would love to be able to help continue that. And I think I'd be remiss if I didn't get that back to the game.
That's awesome. And
I know we would love that.
And you have you know a lot of good special teams things, and I hear we need special teams help, so that's important. I'm just throwing that out there right now.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And even the thing with the special teams is that's the only coach that works with offense and defense. Some coaches work with receivers and O-line, like you work with a multitude of groups, but they work with cross multitudes and both groups.
Yeah.
So to kind of help motivate and understand, you might not have to be an offensive or a defensive specialist. You just need a guy that can help just bring a team together. And that's what special teams guys do, I feel, because you have to, with limited amount of time. You still meet as other groups, like offense, you mix, same way I just talked about. But special teams guys, it's kind of on the fly, and a lot of coaching is really just, when you're the head guy, it's just you know, you have your assistants. Like, yeah, let's run it. Let's do it. You know, so go to work.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Kayla, do you want to talk to us about all of those YouTube comments and questions that we can go through?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. This is going to be a lot rougher than when Mike does it, because I have to do it on my phone and go through some. So
All right.
bear with me. Okay, we're starting with weather.
Oh, weather.
Nice chat,
Okay,
guys,
yeah.
but moving on. Yeah, moving on. All right. Chris Auger, our friend, says, "You're a blessed man, Calvin. Thanks for what you did and do."
Nice.
And,
Appreciate you, Chris.
oh, some Leanne. Y'all know he's going to sign back here next year, right? LOL. Derek says, "We 100% understand why the move was made, Calvin. Nothing but respect from me." I think that goes along with a lot of people on here. I think this is referring to the Mr. T. Ken says, "I just threw up in my mouth when you said his name."
Yeah, my bad. I thought about not doing it.
That's okay. We
But
on
all
this
the
show,
other descriptions would have been way more negative.
yeah, on this show we call him he who shall not be named. So you can just go from then we know. Yeah,
We'll just go up like a symbol.
that's right.
I'm talking about.
That's right.
All I can think of is Voldemort
I
when
know.
you say
Well,
that, though.
it's
So
not
it's
far
kind
off.
of
Anyway, yeah, okay. He abracadabra'd our whole team at that point. Let me tell you, that's what that happened. All the
never
nerds are
forget walking
rejoicing.
into the locker room that day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No
I'm like, did somebody pass away? What's happening? Like, you don't know.
Nope.
And ended up telling me. Herbie ended up telling me.
Oh, really? Oh,
But yeah, I didn't know. I was walking in the locker room. I seen people gathered and just like quiet. What the heck is happening in here? But yeah, sorry, back on track. But,
wow.
that's so awkward. I didn't know that he was gone.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, Coach Vic says, "In a league of one-year contracts and rotating rosters, to have the longevity of Calvin, he's an icon. We need more long-term players to establish this fandom." And then Chris agrees with that. I think that's a huge aspect of it, is getting contracts that are longer than a year, even two, right? To keep those players within a franchise. I mean,
it is. It's a combination.
That's one of the reasons.
Of both, though. I think it's a combination of the players and the CBA coming to agreement that help that. Like maybe. I don't really know. I don't want, just there's a lot of different ways I think you could help incentivize that. Like, but I think it has to be on both sides. But yeah,
100%.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. But part of it, I think it has to be a buy-in from the players too, and wanting to help connect. And it's bigger than football. Like we're talking about the big picture. And being able to plug into the communities and do different things, but sometimes it's not reciprocated on this end too. So I just think, we'll save those.
Yeah. The blame cannot be placed on the players 100% exclusively, right? Like that's just a ridiculous notion.
The fact of the
But
matter,
I get it though. I get it.
Yeah.
We do need more of that. You're right. I agree with that for sure. 100% agree with it. But it does, and the guys that do, I think, benefit from it. And the people around them benefit. So the more of that, the better. Keeping guys in and understanding, and it builds a tradition long term too. So guys just like flipping, flopping, and don't really matter. You don't really understand. You don't know the mascot's name. You don't get to see the super fans. The traditions. Like you watch the games, I see people in the stands I recognize in every city now. The people that have been there, and I think it goes both ways. Especially with kids too coming up trying to attract new fans. If everything's gotta be easy. At least it's here in my face still. You didn't get traded there and then bounced over there and came back here. It's something, more consistent for everybody.
Well, and even for new fans too, like my mom, I know in Calgary one Labor Day, we came back to say hello, and you were one of the only ones that actually talked to her, gave her a hug, and you were really personable with her. And from then on, she's like, "Calvin is my favorite."
Tell her thank you.
My favorite. like things like that, that's really impactful for people. And I mean, maybe it's more of a comfort for you because you've been with the former Eskimos for so long that, you know, you're engaged a little bit differently in the community and with the fans. So, I mean, for that longevity, like, I know for players it's different, but for a fan, like, I know for me, I really, I love to have those guys that are, a few guys that are there for a while.
There's a lot of us
at
that
least
have 31 jerseys for a reason.
Man,
you know.
Yeah.
And even that goes back to, like, I remember being a fan. And my mom used to work at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. And sometimes, you know, we'd be underground or we get to go in early. And you get to see, you know, players. And I got a chance to see some players not interact with anybody. And I just remember thinking, like, I want to be more like that guy. Like, why, you know, why doesn't this guy talk to us, or why can't you go do that? Even my grandma, I remember one time, John Starks, point guard for the Knicks back in the day. She called him John. She's like, Johnny, John. I remember, like, you don't know Mr. Starks. But just, you know, that's John. That's John is, you know, he plays basketball, but his name is still John. Not Mr. You know, so just the way of seeing somebody that I thought was kind of like, you know, and to see my grandma talk to him like she was just a regular dude, and then he is just a regular dude. He turned around and all that, you know, and sign and do those kinds of things. So, and it's a limited time, so you got to take advantage and do the maximum or do the most that you can with it. Like, I was lucky to be able to do it for so long, but yeah, you never know too what kind of impact it can leave on somebody and how that can affect other people. So, but I've been on that side of it. I've seen the negative side. I've seen some, and I definitely don't want to be like that. So, early in the career, I think somebody was like, told me that you don't want to flood the market, so don't sign too much stuff. And this is my first year. It was a guy in the team. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to air him out. But off air, I'll tell you for sure. Okay. And he told me we just started signing autographs. Like, it's my first. I signed some autographs in college, but nothing like when I first came up here. And he told me, don't flood the market. Like, don't sign everything. I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm signing everything. What are you saying? I just started signing. I'm signing everything. Maybe my signature got a little bit smaller, a little more quicker. But I signed when I can. So.
Oh man, that's funny. That would be. I don't know how some celebrities, especially like huge celebrities, even at the Oilers fandom, like signing how many thousands, tens of thousands. Right. Like, I would just be like initials for the rest of the day. Oh my gosh. My zig. The zig. The stamp.
So we have to get Calvin for Christmas as a Calvin McCarty stamp. So we could just say that.
Personalized stamps.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to use that term too loosely.
Yeah, that's thanks.
Personalized.
Really
personalization.
Thank you. Good recovery.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Context.
What else in there, Commish?
Yeah, so not a lot of questions, just more statements we got going on here. But Ken said something interesting. Thought it was interesting that Pinball took the blame for what happened with MBT. Which I found a little strange as well. But
because that's the only guy you can't get mad at. Think about it. You gonna get mad at Pinball? He's gonna make you laugh. Well, okay, you can be mad at me. You won't be mad at him for long. Okay, well.
True.
All right, Pinball.
True. Oh my goodness.
You can have this one, but next time, that's really it. You know?
Yeah.
I thought about it. I did think it was kind of weird, but you don't want to blame the owners. It's his first year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna drive him away again.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. What's gonna come of that? Have anything? They find him or something?
I don't know actually if they did or not. There hasn't really been anything announced, but I don't know. For some reason, for me, I just thought, hey, you know, Pinball's taking the blame to kind of take the pressure off his guy. That, you know, and
that too.
And like you said, McCarty, like, I can't you can't be mad
He's
at
number
pinball.
31.
Like,
What do you mean? He's number 31.
Like, you can't be mad at him.
All right, buddy.
It's scientifically impossible. When you look at his face and he smiles, like you just melt. You can't.
You could be mad for the 3 minutes that he's talking to you, and then you realize, nope, that's impossible. Yep.
No, not for me. As soon as I look at him, I'd just be like, right. I'm not mad. Oh, goodness. This I definitely agree with Leanne. CFL should come out with a CFL jersey. Why hasn't this happened yet? A CFL everything. All the merchandise.
Just the CFL logo.
All the time. Oh,
a shirt
Did
that
they do
says...
that Grey Cup?
Well, kind of, but everything has Grey Cup logo on it. It doesn't have just CFL. They need a T-shirt that says, I hope both teams have fun, and the CFL logo, and then we could wear it to all those other games. I could have gone down and watched you in Calgary and felt comfortable because at least I wasn't having to wear any of those other
all
colors.
CFL fans. True.
Perfect. See? We're all...
That's right. I guess that, yeah.
We're all CFL family.
Andrew, grow a pair and wear the colors I do.
They should accept you for,
joking along. Come on.
Either way, definitely some CFL apparel would be nice.
Oh, it's so
Even
awesome.
just more, maybe not more, I don't know, just different ways to connect still with the league and the players. I think it should be both ways, though. There should be a CFL PA.
Oh, I love that too.
You should be able to support them as well. You should have an option to do either or 50-50 with some collaboration apparel or something.
Yeah, like Mike was talking last week when they had it in Sears. We want CFL jammies. Come on. We want.
You know who has some like low key stuff every once in a while?
What's that?
The Army and Navy.
Really?
Army and Navy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. I found some striped socks in there I've never seen. some elk striped socks like a few years ago.
Really?
A few years ago. Even a little barbecue like griller thing that was CFL merchandise.
Ooh.
Or team merchandise, which is like, it was pretty nice to see. There's some stuff in there I've never seen that. It was all right.
Okay.
Not program from I don't have no deals with Army and Navy on the side and nothing like that. This is not a plug. Just saying.
But go check it.
If they don't have anything, don't quote me either. But I went in there a couple of times and found some nice stuff. So.
Wow, man, I gotta hunt down some socks.
And it is Christmas season, so it might seem like a real plug.
It's important. We got to get Army and Navy on the phone and give you a check for that. That's good.
Right? Yeah. Whole $5. Earned it.
Title of the podcast. Check out Army and Navy. Yeah, exactly.
Quick little Army and Navy flash.
It's perfect.
Like those old Navy commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
Navy.
Yeah. Oh my.
Except Army and Navy, yeah. Patrick A. Penguin says CFL player team jersey should have with Velcro name bars and numbers.
Almost, but yeah. Yeah, I agree with you though, Calvin, where you're saying it's a combination of the league and the PA and the players. They all gotta want it, right? They all gotta want to be in a place for a long time, and just the teams can't be like, okay, we're gonna sign you to a 3-year deal, and then after a year and a half, well, bye. Like there's got to be a little bit of
or something
give and
on the
take
other end
there.
of that. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, just some balance.
We definitely have some questions now. I love this.
Jerseys.
This first is a statement that I have to make. Didn't know. Derek says, if not with the Elks, just know St. Albert loves you coaching with the Bulldogs.
Thank you. I was there, then kind of. But I still work. There's some good kids over there. Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
They would love to have you, I assume, but we want you, so no. Sorry, Bulldogs.
Nice, Kayla.
And then Chris says, Calvin, in your opinion, did the limited coaching staff have a negative effect on the quality of play this year?
I say a bit of that in like a training camp, for sure. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you do see the two, I guess, the most veteran-laden teams that have kind of been together, that had the most consistency in the champ, pretty close, if not the same amount.
Mm-hmm.
you look at roster wise, they're still pretty similar, right?
Yep.
So that would be, I think, yeah, a little bit. But at the end of the day, yeah, I don't know which quality of play. Yeah, I guess there was a lot more mistakes, but there's also on both ends, like you said, the coaching staffs as well, and even time to scout, time to see guys. It's a different league if you can only watch guys on camera. You can't go sign free agents. You didn't have these camps. You know, like you can look at the film. It's different than seeing somebody in person just because of that. There has to be a real feel to it, you know. And so with that adjustment, I'd say, yeah, that could be a reason. But I know guys are out there, you know, putting it on the line. So nothing away from the fellas or the players. I just think, given what we had to go through last year, shortened year this year, no training camp or smaller training camp, no preseason games is what I meant to say, but no training camp. So you got to evaluate film with at least amount of contact too. Like these training camps, you can only have like 4 padded practices. I remember having back-to-back padded practices, training camp.
Yeah.
Back-to-back days. Like that's 4 days right there in 2 days. And now you spread over those 4 amount of contact days over that amount of time. It does have an effect, but you got to find ways to adjust and make things happen. So that's the world we live in. Got to keep progressing and trying to make it better. So I think, given a full season, full everything, this potential next year, I think it should go up.
And it was just a weird year for everybody. Like, you can't just pin it on these players. Like, I don't know. I think we should have a little bit of grace because no matter what, it was still an entertaining year, in my opinion. I was still entertained. I had football. I didn't care.
And really, that's what it was about. I think just getting, you just didn't want to throw something together. Like, guys, it's tough. It's not like I tell kids now, like, the best summer job you'll have. You still got to find other things to do. And to have a year off and to see other things too, like football players. I've been playing football since I can remember. And to see guys have that senior year or junior year taken away from them, I couldn't imagine what that was like at that age. Like now I'm like, you know, older. Yeah, I miss a year of football. Okay, I can deal with it, you know. But to see these guys go through it and to see the guys that in their first year, rookie year, third year, fourth year players, with that amount of money is a lot to them. And you have to do other things. You can't just, you know, it's tough to be I don't want to say a part-time football player, but given during COVID, like guys had to do what they had to do too. So I get it. No excuse with that. I'm just saying it's not easy to go work, have a full-time job, go work out, and then come take care and do different things and not knowing if you're going to play. Or do you leave this job to potentially come to training camp and get cut and then lose out on this, and after you have already lost out on a year?
Right.
Guys had to make that commitment, so I commend the guys for doing what they did to put out there what they put out there as well.
100%. Trevor says, Calvin, you're an awesome football player. And Ronan says he has a bunch of football signed by you. That's pretty fun.
So can Ronan confirm then that the signature did get smaller over the years? Or
maybe. He probably...
We'll look for that answer, Ronan.
He'll be able to put them in order. No, this had to be rookie year.
It's got this great big...
Okay, this is a really serious question. From Joel, Oreos or Chips Ahoy?
Both.
Well, yeah. There's no compromise. Yeah. It's both.
If I had to take one, Chips Ahoy.
No,
I do like McFlurries though. Oreo. Chips Ahoy for the cookies.
That's right. Ahoy. Yeah. There's other
I think
uses.
Santa would say Chips Ahoy too.
Probably.
Wow, this is actually tougher than it sounds. No, now I just want an Oreo cookie. Yeah. Dang it.
Mint Oreo.
Oh no!
Some people
No,
don't
no,
like that.
no.
Toothpaste.
Original only. Come
candy.
on now. Yeah, we can't get crazy.
Double stuffed? Are you crazy?
Yeah,
Oh, double.
Not
That's true.
original.
Double
Green on
stuff.
it.
Yeah. I can be on that. Yeah.
Don't they have like some very strange Oreo come out from like Japan and stuff that they've brought
Yes.
They have a
over?
lot of strange, a lot of different things too. Like a lot of
That weird craft dinner mix stuff.
The cotton
That
candy
I
craft
don't know if
dinner.
you've seen that.
I think they made
Why?
that. The cotton candy. Yeah.
I someone explain that to me. Sorry, I am like totally going off track. Now I've lost my thought. See, this is why I'm not good at this. And like my text is like this big, so
We'll
my
do a
glasses
couple
are not
more, and then we'll
helping.
get into some talk for the game this week.
Okay, a lot of people just saying that they've got signed stuff from you. Appreciate you. Leanne, will Calvin be sticking around Edmonton for the next year? I think we've kind of like Edmonton as in like the city, or as in like the game Edmonton. Leanne,
I'll
I
be
wonder.
here.
Be here.
You'll-
Yeah.
you'll be
Edmonton's
here.
home for you now,
in one
right?
I'm
capacity
free
or
right
another.
now, so well after the season,
Yeah.
February.
But Edmonton is kind of home for you now, right? Like you're.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
City, yeah. There's your question. City, yeah. Ronan, though, only Oreos when dunked in milk via backflip.
That's it's only one
I
guy
get
that
it.
does that. Yeah.
I get it.
And Leanne, his presence may be requested for a special event.
Mm. Yeah.
CMAC 31.
Can't just leave it at that, Leanne. We're all
Go,
curious.
yeah. CMAC
He can
30.
email me.
You
Send an email.
better say that again.
For special events.
A special
that
event,
could be
yeah.
like-
Your presence may be requested for a special event. That is our last
Oh,
thing.
that's
So I'm
fantastic.
just I'm
That's fine.
curious if Leanne will elaborate. Leanne,
Exactly. Oh, I'm sure she will. That's fantastic. Yeah.
okay, and that
Okay,
is
that's
the end of
awesome.
it
Thanks,
so
Gail.
far.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You did great.
Yeah.
That was very good. Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of chit chatter. I commend Mike
Yeah,
for
he's-
getting through all of that
Seemed
in a
pretty-
timely manner. I am not that timely.
Oh, I'm sure you.
As we all know.
You set that one right up and then answered it before I could get there. Well done.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about the Grey Cup game this week and the finals a little bit. Talk about the first final, Tiger Cats against the Argos. Tiger Cats pulling out the win. Calvin, was there anything in that game that kind of surprised you?
I just thought maybe I thought it's tough. They had the lead. They didn't really capitalize at halftime.
Mhm.
That fumble at the end, that play that he made,
Yeah, Dane, when he grabbed the
Yeah.
ball away. Yeah.
that was like, I'm sure everybody's, it's a heck of a play, but even just the momentum from that, and on top of them not being able to get to the end zone, not being able to score touchdowns,
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of like all this bad stuff happened, and now, so I wasn't surprised that Hamilton came back. It was a good game. I thought Toronto definitely had a chance as well, but the quarterback switch kind of reminded me of like shades of back in the day too.
Yeah.
With the, Moss and
Yeah.
Ricky switch, because they do have two outstanding quarterbacks. Just the team and kind of that's probably the reason I pick them as well. Just how many times they've been there, been knocked down over the past 7-8 years for Hamilton to kind of but not get there. And I wasn't really surprised that they won, but it was a good game, and that play is loom big, because say even if they tackle and they kick a field goal and you get 3 points, it still kind of changes the perspective and maybe the mindset a little bit of the game. So it was a heck of a game, but the way I would say that play that he made was obviously big, but a motivating play too when you see your quarterback do that despite everything. like your quarterback chased dude down. He got off on blocking. He stripped him and got the ball back. Halftime. Everybody, let's get your ish together now. Like, I'm doing this. Like put me out there on defense. Then I'll go take the ball. So it's a motivating play, and I think that combined with the way they weren't able to finish and kind of put the ball in the end zone. You just kick field goals, you lose the game. Not saying that you lose by a field goal, but score a touchdown. Let's finish.
Especially the one where they where he went to throw to Foster and Jagger Davis knocked it down. I mean, it was amazing play by Jagger Davis, don't get me wrong. But that ball, if it's thrown a little more towards, like a little farther back to the corner, that is a touchdown. Like, because there's no way that but it was thrown behind him, right? So, and that one, I was surprised actually that in one of those first two drives that they didn't just like, okay, let's just go for it. And if they don't get the touchdown, then at least you have Hamilton pinned back and see if you can get some field position. And because coming away those first two drives with field goals, it did kind of set the tone. And then I think you're right, switching that quarterback just launched the momentum, and Toronto couldn't get it back after that. So and I had the Toronto defense in my fantasy, and so I was like, oh, this is good. At the end of the first half, I'm like, yeah, this is great. And then second half, not so much, but that's all right. Interesting game for sure. So Hamilton goes on. They got to start Dane in the Grey Cup, right? Or what do you think?
I don't know.
I know. I was curious what you think.
They won the game.
Right?
He balled. He did. He kind of earned it, too. I think if you put him in there, he earned it. I think. Yeah, he's going to play. I think they'll both play in the game. Mm-hmm. But maybe you go with Zoe, and then I don't know if you have time to go play with the defense like that. I can start Mazzoli, and if it doesn't go, you can throw him in there. But you're playing Winnipeg, and if they get those kind of opportunities, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think they'd be as fortunate as to wait and see. Right. So maybe you do go with Dane and just, go there. I think
it's a tough one.
He's earned it. He was 16 for 16.
Yeah.
He let him back. And I played with Mazzoli for the 1 year here, and I know Mazzoli's a competitor, so I know he's a great team guy. He'd probably even say start him. I'll be ready.
Yeah, I think
he'll probably get a few plays, but I think you do start him. And he played against him last year, so
true,
right? In the Grey Cup.
Yep. Didn't really go that way. So I wonder, like you said with Moss and Ricky. When it was here, they
went back to Rick.
They went back to Rick to start the Grey Cup, and that's the way it kind of goes. And so I wouldn't surprise me either way, honestly.
Yeah.
I just know, if you're trying to pick, a fantasy roster to win this week, it's going to be difficult to pick one of those quarterbacks because tough to, which one is going to be in for the game, right? It's going to be interesting. So
safe pick is Caleros for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to just spend up on that and then go from there. Build your rosters from there.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's talk about the Riders and Bomber game. That was an entertaining game. Let me tell you, back and forth. Yeah. That was a CFL game, but I don't know. I don't think I have ever watched a game where a team turned the ball over 6 times and won.
Right.
So is that, in your opinion, is that just Winnipeg's defense is that good, or is it the Riders just couldn't find a way to capitalize from where they were at? Like, what do you think?
Were 2 of them were at the end zone? 2 of them were in the end zone?
One was in the end zone, and one was on the 1 yard line, and then he ran back. Yeah.
So even the turnover's there. So I'm going to say, it sucks to turn the ball over, but sometimes the location where you turn the ball over changes stuff too. So the fact that they didn't turn it over in their end of the field, it's still a bad turnover, but it's not the worst turnover.
Mm-hmm.
So partly that, and given the defense, it's a crazy stat. I get it, but they did turn the ball over deep in their end a couple times, and they couldn't answer and score back. So it was kind of like a push, and you're just hanging around at that time, and they're kind of lingering and hanging around, and then Winnipeg finished them. But yeah, it's definitely weird to see, and to not be able to manufacture off anything off of those, that many opportunities, that defense on the field for that amount of time, given the weather conditions.
Yeah.
You should be able to factor some, whether or not. I'm just saying, 2 of the turnovers were really deep in the end zone, not giving them an excuse for not scoring off those turnovers. At the end of the day, it's points off the board for that team.
Right.
Technically, even if it's that close. But if you're not putting anything together either, then it's pushed. But and then them being at home and the run game with Andrew Harris kicking in, I think it just finally collapsed the other way. But same kind of idea. Like, you get these turnovers early, and we're still down by what? 3?
Yeah, 3 at halftime.
So they had that same kind of confidence, I think, that, the Ticats had off of things are going this bad for us right now, but let's go, and finish it. So I thought, a lot of people weren't giving Sask a chance. I thought they could definitely hang in there. Make a couple more plays, they win the game. They made a lot of plays. They had a lot of opportunities, but just didn't finish. So I thought Winnipeg was going to win the game, and I thought a lot of people weren't giving Sask the respect, so it was going to be closer than what people thought. And the weather, and it's the final, so it's a rivalry. It's going to be a good game. And I think the best teams or the teams that won are the teams that deserve to be there.
That's fair. Commissioner, you watched the fourth quarter. What?
I was in full crunch mode. It was intense. That last minute?
It was crazy. Whoa. And, okay, so was it a catch by Duke Williams or not?
Correct. No, but I'm not, because he had control and possession, but it hit the turf. But I don't know if this is CFL or NFL. I can't remember. But it's allowed to hit the turf if you have control of the ball. It just can't help you keep control. Is that NFL or CFL? Or is it both?
I don't know. I thought the same. Say if you hold it and it touches the ground and it doesn't move, then you're good. I'm a fan.
Because he had it.
Yeah, I like Duke, so I got to get Duke to catch.
I like Duke too, but that was not a catch.
They had the drama, the build up. They're just like, leave it. We let what's the name play, so it's a catch.
I thought it was going to get turned over. That's for sure.
I did after seeing that back angle. I think when they're showing it, kind of. Yeah, tough to say. I think they get a little too involved sometimes at that point. Like, give us one challenge per half. And because when we went from 3, or you get 2 and then you win 2 and then you get a third one,
right?
Okay, that was too much. Let's go 1 per half in case that stuff happens. And then the CFL, why do they get involved like that in the playoff games? There's been a lot of times where you would think there would be a call-in, but there's no call-in. And a stoppage of play is something that's so blatant that they can't let that go. But you need to just, I think, get rid of that side of it. Either you call it, or if it's inside 2 minutes and it's crucial, they can call it then. But because they stop and correct some stuff prior to that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not that game, but yeah, I just for the flow of the game. And if you call it like that on the field and they don't challenge it, or you're out of challenges inside and it's crucial, I don't know. I think never mind. I just think there's sometimes it's weird when they call in and they don't call in.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're sitting there looking for something to happen, like you're looking up, but really you're looking for the CFL to be looking down the call. Hold on, wait a minute, stop that game. Who's on the other end of those phone calls? I want to see that guy. Talk to that guy. So what happens when you pick this phone up? What makes you pick the phone up? But yeah, it's And if they would have scored on that drive, that call would be a lot more freaking,
Oh,
Controversial.
that was huge.
they ended up winning the game, but especially on the road, it would have been like kind of like the end of that Argos game. Never mind.
Yeah.
The-
It would be.
But that was
Yeah.
Would have gone. It would have gone
pandemonium.
crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was It's insane. It was a heck of a game, but I agree with you, Kamish. It was full on like chew off every nail I have left. God, that.
But it was great because my dad walked in with that last minute of play, and he's like, "Oh, my boys winning, go Riders!" And then they
Ooh.
lost, and I was like, "Yeah!" So that was great. I mean, I didn't care all that much, but at the point when my dad walked in, I was like, "A Riders fan is here. I cannot cheer for them. No." So thank you, Bombers. It was a vindication on my side of the family.
That's awesome. All right, so the big game this coming Sunday, Bombers versus Hamilton, a rematch of 2019. Pretty exciting the way these teams have kind of got there. A couple of different roads traveled this year. I mean, in 2019, Winnipeg was the team that finished in third and then won on the road and then won on the road and then went into the Grey Cup. And now we've got Hamilton, wins at home, wins on the road, and is now going in, and Winnipeg with the dominating season. So little different tale of the tape, so to speak. But Calvin, give us your prediction and kind of what you think about this game. How do you think it's going to go?
I think it'll be obviously hard fought. There's two good defenses out there.
Yeah,
really good defenses. Run game wise, you probably give the edge to Winnipeg for sure. But Don Jackson can run it pretty good too, and I think he has maybe a little bit of more big play ability potentially. But and for being there the last few years, the defensive line at home, I think Hamilton wins it.
Really?
23-16. Whoa.
23-16.
I mean, yeah, they just that little bit of, I don't know. Maybe that's me seeing it from that perspective. Like I have buddies on both teams. Like Mike Miller is one of my guys. Even the coaches, I know coaches on both teams. So looking at it and seeing them being at that, of not being there and not being there and being denied, I don't think they're going to be like the early '90 Bills teams who've been to 4 AFC champions or 4 Super Bowls in 3 years, 4. Unless it's going to go that way, but I don't think it will. I think they'll win it. I think they'll pull it out.
Wow! All right, Kamish, what do you got?
Oh man! Oh, I liked your analysis. How you said it last week, though, Andrew, of how it's kind of like that equal balance of pressure, whereas last year was primarily last season it was primarily all on Hamilton. But it's tough. I'm really conflicted because I think both actually have an equal opportunity to win this. I think they're pretty well matched and balanced. I mean, obviously, Bombers have the edge of just being an all-around more dominant team, but Hamilton's coming on strong, right? They've been a little bit more consistent as the games go on, blending a little bit better with each other. And then you have that dynamic with Evans and Mazzoli, and I'm just so happy because Foley Mazzoli's in, and like I'm thrilled. Like you can't go wrong. But I want Hamilton to win strictly because it's at home, and that'd be awesome. And then you break that losing streak and not having a Grey Cup win in however many years. But it'd be so great to see another team go back-to-back winning. And that's, sorry, Calvin, but not the Stamps or the Tigers, but someone I can actually cheer for. Right? To have almost like a dynasty reign again, it would be really neat to see because I haven't seen that since I've been watching CFL. And I mean, I'm a little bit newer to it, but it's been a long time. So I don't know. I'm really torn on this one. I don't know. But like, my stomach, it keeps wanting to vomit out Hamilton, so that must be it. I don't know. That's what's kind of like regurgitating. So it must I must be wanting to go with Hamilton at heart. So I would love to see Hamilton win it at home, but I wouldn't be. For me, it's a win-win. I know you don't like that, but for
Yeah.
me, it's a win-win in the situation. But I might edge out Hamilton. I might be with Calvin on this
All
one.
right. This is a tough one. I actually put out a poll yesterday to say, okay, who do you want to see win it? Maybe not who do you think will win it, but who do you want to see win it? And we had about 75 votes on that, and it went just the way of the Tiger Cats by like 56%.
Cool.
So kind of a closer race than. But you know, the thing is, in 2019 we said this. We all thought it was clear Hamilton's going to win this. Like, that's how this is going to go down. And it went completely the opposite way.
Right.
So we know that Winnipeg defense can play on another level, and you've really got to see, like, Hamilton's going to have to be up by a fair amount going into the fourth quarter, because you know that they're probably not getting anything in the fourth quarter. But one of the things that you did say, Calvin, is, you know, Don Jackson, we know Don Jackson was not in the game when they played the first time that they played Winnipeg. And if Winnipeg has maybe one slight mild weakness, it might be against the run. That's how Toronto beat them when they did win that one game. And Kadeem Carey even had a good game against them. So we know that it's possible. So does Don Jackson make that difference? And does the combination of using both Mazzoli and Dane make a difference instead of just going to one way? I think it's going to be very close, but I'm picking with my heart. I'm going to say the same thing. I think Hamilton finds a way at home, and man, that would be exciting. I like that's the storyline I want, and I don't want to be, you know, against my Winnipeg friends. But the storyline I want is the team that has the longest drought in the league wins at home in front of their fans for the first time they've had the Grey Cup in Hamilton since 1996. Like, the storyline is unreal. And not to say that the back-to-back isn't a huge storyline, but I picking with my heart, that's what I kind of hope to see that happen. It'd be interesting. So, and I'm glad that you said it first, Calvin. Thanks. It made it easier for me. That's good.
No worries.
You're always helping us out, man. Yeah. You're what?
No problem. No, I was going to say, I know, because they've had a few rival games too, the Stamps and Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So part of the Stamp side of me right now, can't say Winnipeg. Sorry, people.
On camera.
Yeah,
on camera.
That's right. Yeah, you got to be.
But yeah, no, that had nothing to. And the special teams coaches, that's a good matchup too.
Yeah.
They got both great special teams coaches. There could be a big play there to decide the game.
Absolutely.
Like Winnipeg blocked the punt last week too, early.
Yeah, they blocked the punt
early. Yeah. They score off that, they ended up turning it over. Mm-hmm. I think, but either way, early in the game, Hamilton had a big return to get the momentum back.
Yeah, and then the field goal to get that first down.
The fake field goal,
unreal.
So it's a good matchup there.
Yeah,
I'd have to give Winnipeg the edge, but because the returner too. I would give it off the return, even though when Hamilton's returner took it to the house. Is it Grant? Winnipeg's returner?
Yeah.
He's a little more, I think, more like more potential game-breaking speed that way.
That's fair.
So they got to get down and hit him and don't let him get north-south. They got to make him run side to side.
Yeah.
Because if he goes this way, he kills Angles. And I think that was one of the reasons they were willing to get rid of Lucky and not re-sign Lucky.
Hey, speaking of Lucky, what do you think of him being at the game wearing Winnipeg wearing Bombers stuff when he's still...
I thought about if it was me and you guys were in the playoffs. Like,
would you do it?
Here with the old jersey on, you know? No, I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Okay.
I'm not saying I don't. Yeah, I mean, that would be weird, wouldn't it?
That's what I think. Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Especially if I was put out in the playoffs and the Elks are in the playoffs, and I'm at the championship game here with the Elks jersey on. And 2 weeks ago, you guys beat us, and now I'm sitting here. I would. Yeah, no, it's weird.
It's weird. Okay.
It's weird.
That's kind of what I thought too. But
he's probably a good guy. He's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
He's a heck of a player, but
yeah, we all want beanies just like him.
Would that just be on your like players assessment, or like what about fans? Because y'all know that once my team was out, I was all about the L's, and I'd be freaking in the stands with my L stuff like Vernon, woo!
See,
I can't come.
Fans can do it, but if you were directly put out of the playoffs by a team, and now they're the reason you're sitting in that seat, and you're still technically still the same season. It's like he lost a bet and had to go do that.
Maybe he did.
He's like, take me back, put me back on the Bombers. Yeah. Anyway, that's. Oh my goodness.
Not judging, but weird.
It was weird. It was
Nothing wrong with weird.
No.
I kind of noticed too. I didn't know because I was just watching the game. Like that dude was like Lucky Whitehead, and then sure enough, it's him.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was him at first when they first showed it. I don't know. Maybe they had the name bar and I missed it, but I just seen the guy with the red dress. And I was like, hold on. Can't be too many guys, with red dress in Winnipeg in the front row going crazy. That's him.
Yeah, the red dreads is kind of a giveaway. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, exactly.
If he had the spinner hat on, I would have been like, oh,
then
no. Turn it off.
Although I really do think they should make a spinner hat with all of the different team logos because we all want one. That would be amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. That'd be amazing. All right, hold on for 2 seconds here as we say this episode is also brought to you by Park Power, your friendly local utilities provider in Alberta, offering internet, electricity, and natural gas with low rates, awesome service, and profit sharing with local charities. In Alberta, you get to choose who you buy your internet, electricity, and natural gas from. Park Power has low overhead, which in turn allows them to offer low competitive rates. Reach out for a no-obligation comparison by emailing estimates at parkpower.ca. If you decide to switch, it's super easy. It's really just a change to your billing, and you can feel good knowing you are helping to give back to your communities with your utilities bills. Learn more at parkpower.ca. Calvin, I can't thank you enough for coming and chatting with us. We love having you on, and whether you're playing, coaching, scouting, or finding something else, we are going to have you back on next season to talk Elks and see how things are all going. But I really, really appreciate you taking the time. Tell everybody where they can interact with you and where they can find you, because obviously there's a lot of people who love you, and we want to reach out to you.
Yeah. I think my Instagram is CMCCARTY31.
Yep.
C McCarty 31 or Twitter, Calvin McCarty 31.
Yep.
Pretty sure.
You're right.
Or my email, cmac31@gmail.com. Other than that, that's it. That's all I got for.
That's for the
people. But thank you for having me. Yeah, the events, the inquiries. It says on there on the website, it'll say for inquiries. Go ahead. You can send it. They go straight to the wife. So if there's anything outside, the wife's catching me. But anyway, we're good. I thank you for having me. I love you guys too, and this is what makes a league. Everybody. It's our league. So I appreciate it, man. And the jersey looks crispy on you.
Oh, yeah. Still
fresh as always.
Yeah.
Kamish, appreciate everything you do. Beautiful Christmas tree.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas. And hopefully we'll be talking again soon. And we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I sure hope so. I know my memory came up this week after the Grey Cup game where you jumped up in the stands right after you won, and I'm like, it's just perfect that we're having you on this week. It's
No doubt.
one of my favorite moments. Absolutely. So
Me too.
So yeah, I bet.
Me too.
That's awesome. Kamish, where does everybody find you?
On Twitter at That's a Somebody.
Perfect. Make sure you are also following our good friends at Pay It Forward with Football. Calvin, you know all about them as well. And of course, they're doing their Stuff a Wallet initiative, so make sure that you check out their website and donate to that if you can, because let's make somebody's Christmas even brighter. I want to send a big thank you out to Ryan Coop from the Canadian Football Countdown. He set up our fantasy league for this entire year, doing the CFL fantasy and set up all of our head-to-head games. This final week, I was able to beat Mike. Sorry, Mike. And Joe from the Rouge, White, and Blue podcast was able to take out Ryan. So it's Joe from the Rouge, White, and Blue against me from the Turf District. So in the final, should be very, very fun to go through and play with that. But the year has been amazing, and thank you so much, Ryan, for setting that up. So follow all those great shows in the Canadian Football Podcast Network. And of course, check out some of the great shows on the APN, the Alberta Podcast Network. I want to tell you this week about one called Scam Time. And this sounds a little funny saying it, but with the Fraud Broads, Stephanie and Karen gasp and giggle over the topic of frauds and phonies in a true crime podcast. You can find that and many others at albertapodcastnetwork.com. And of course, join in the huddle at the Turf District. That's on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. We'd love to chat with you guys, especially as we go into Grey Cup week. And I should have said that off the top. Happy Grey Cup week. It's our favorite week of the year. I'm excited to hear more as we get through and watch this big game. It's going to be super exciting. But join us there as we talk about the Grey Cup game next week. Also exciting to wrap up the Grey Cup game. We are going to be joined by number 93, Kwaku Boateng. Will be joining back on the show. And we will talk about what a hula hoop is. That'll be important.
Ask Kwaku about his weird dance.
That's what it is.
Tell him to stop
hula
that.
Hoops.
You're not allowed to do that.
I'm going to tell them.
Kids watch this game, man. Kids watch the game.
Yeah. The bat.
Especially little girlies. My kid, we watching the game. Like, what is that? Like, nah, that's not girly. Don't even worry about that. So tell Uncle Kwaku, or I'm going to have to tell him. I change the dance.
Oh, I can't wait to pass that on to him. That's going to be outstanding. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Okay, thank you again, Calvin. For Calvin, Commissioner K, and Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you next week.